Recently, you and I ventured outside of the basement to watch a movie together. We went to the drive-in theater.
Yes, we did.
And we got some movie candy. You know, the drive-in theater seems like a product of a bygone era, yet they persist. What is the appeal of the drive-in?
That was the first time I've gone on a weekend since I was a kid, and it is such a family event. There were just so many kids there. I think it's the only place where you can get away with talking in a movie.
Yeah.
There's that. You can move around.
Probably easier to sneak in booze to a drive-in than to a normal
Maybe
theater.
one of us did.
We saw Inside Out,
Yes.
the new Pixar movie, which I enjoyed very much.
Mm-hmm.
I was worried it was going to be too cutesy pie for me.
Oh my God, no.
No, it's very mature and adult.
I think that Bing Bong might be the greatest American hero. Take that, John Rambo, and anyone else that Sylvester Stallone ever played. Bing Bong.
I ate those Milk Duds. I haven't had Milk Duds probably in 10, 15 years. Yeah. They messed me up.
How so?
I'm normally on a very low sugar diet, and, you know, this was Saturday. It was the drive-in. I was like, I'm going to have some Milk Duds. First of all, I had like a tenth of the Milk Duds that were in that box. There's enough candy in there for 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
I was fine throughout the movie, but then on our way home, my mind was just like, yeah, and I was thinking like dark thoughts, like, oh my God, what if we get home and the cats are dead?
Why didn't you give me any, man? Why didn't you hook me up with the duds?
I will severely limit my dud intake in the future. I've got a bunch of movies that I've never seen before. You don't know what they are. Every episode, I'm going to spring one on you. It might be good. It might be bad. We'll watch it and talk about it. Welcome to the basement. Welcome back to the basement for our third and final installment of Sci-Fi July. What does the future hold for us?
Zeppelins. Nothing but Zeppelins.
Is it the bright, optimistic future of John Cabal and things to come? Or is it a tense future fraught with Martian invasions like in Invaders from Mars? It could be a grim, post-apocalyptic world. A world devoid of hope. A world made entirely of water. A water world, if you will.
Oh, I have not seen it.
Yeah.
Yes!
Released in 1995, starring Kevin Costner and Dennis Hopper, this film was the highest budgeted film of all time at that time, topping off at $175 million.
That's back when $175 million used to be a lot of money.
Yeah, that's like 2/3 of an Avatar.
Yeah.
Due to the runaway costs of the production, critics gave the film such nicknames as Fish Tar and Kevin's Gate. In the midst of the troubled production, a young Joss Whedon was flown out to the set to do last-minute script rewrites. He describes the experience as 7 weeks of hell. Waterworld flopped at the box office, but after figuring in overseas grosses, television broadcast licensing, home video sales, and other revenue streams, the film did eventually break even.
Like with Ishtar, I have heard that it's not as bad as everyone makes it out to be.
I've gotten you another officially licensed piece of merchandise from another sci-fi franchise. Ooh. This one also takes place in a futuristic hellscape.
Oh, my favorite type of hellscape. It's... What is this? Is this a jigsaw puzzle?
It is.
Planet of the Apes jigsaw puzzle.
From back in the bygone days when Dad used to gather the family around the table and say, hey kids, you want to have some fun? Let's open up a can of puzzle.
It only has 96 pieces, so I'll be working on this for weeks.
Well, jump on your boat, skiff, or flotilla and sail on over to the island that is known as the Old Leather Couch as we watch the 90s action flick Waterworld.
See plenty of land on that planet. Oh, it's the universe. Oh, universal.
I'll explain later.
The ice caps have melted, and now the world is covered with water.
All the polar bears are like, this is bullshit.
We meet our hero, the Mariner, played by Kevin Costner, while he's peeing. He puts the urine through a processor.
Hey, he's making Budweiser.
Yep.
The traditions have survived. Kevin Costner didn't know that the cameras were rolling at this point. This is just like his pre-scene ritual.
Yeah.
Mariner, a drifter, is on his souped-up skiff. Cribs, Waterworld edition. And he's out scavenging in the ocean. While he's underwater, some guy comes on his boat and steals all his limes. He's a fellow drifter.
Nothing's free in Waterworld.
Everything's $175 million.
At first they're friendly with each other, but then Mariner realizes this guy ripped him off. You lime snatcher!
What am I going to put in my gin and tonics?
There's a big chase, and the other guy doesn't make it because Mariner is a badass. He goes to Atoll to trade some dirt, which is quite a commodity here in Waterworld.
And people live there, and they die there, and they get sunk into the mire when they die.
When old women die, they put them in the chili.
You know me?
Yeah, you're Gary.
And you know if you look for trouble while you're here, you'll find more than you can handle.
Trouble from Gary. While there, he goes to a store, and he meets Helen and her little girl, Enola. Enola's got a weird tattoo on her back that a lot of people are curious about. Gregor, the old man, seems to think that this tattoo is a map to the mythical Dryland, a place where there is land and it is dry.
People find him to be pretty suspicious.
Maybe he's a smoker spy.
Or maybe he's a joker spy, or even a midnight toker spy. Me, I think he's the space cowboy.
And as he's leaving, someone notices he's got some funny things behind his ears. They're gills. Mutation! A mutant! The Mariner is some sort of merman. People don't like mermans. Ethel and Eugene. People don't want mermaid men around.
Mariner is imprisoned for some reason. I know why the caged fish sings. Mariner is condemned to death. They're gonna dip him in the goop. Just then, the atoll is attacked by smokers.
Smokers! The smokers are this huge tribe of thieves and slavers.
Deacon's a warlord, and if you thought Mariner was a badass, you ain't met Deacon yet. They shoot up the atoll. They've got water skiers who jump over the wall. The descendants of Tommy Bartlett breach the walls. Gregor, the old man, runs to his contraption. It's a homemade balloon. He starts sailing off, and he tells Helen and Enola to get into the balloon, but they miss out. They don't make it. And he's like, I'm sorry, I gotta go. They see Mariner in his cage, and they run down there, and they make a deal with him.
If I let you out of here, you're taking us with you.
No deal. I'd rather die than travel with a woman.
Gets him to his boat. She hops on with Enola. Also the Mariner, smart enough that he can help destroy all the bad guys.
He's pulling him right into us!
So off they go into the huge waters of the world.
He's not too happy about having passengers because he doesn't have enough supplies. So he says, we're going to have to kill the girl.
It's better one of you dies now than both of you die slow.
Helen tries to bargain with him using her assets. He doesn't seem too interested in that. I only make love to porpoises and narwhals. That's my thing. But he decides, okay, we won't kill the girl. You guys can stay. But I don't like it.
The Sailor Billies, what are they called? The smokers are led by a man called the Demon. The smokers are led by a man called the Deacon. The Deacon had his eye popped out by Kevin Costner during the battle, and he was a little bit pissed off about it. Fake eye put in. Hilarity ensues. Mad-eyed Mooney. But they need one other thing, and that's that little girl.
Mariner and his two new passengers have some difficulties. There's some unauthorized crayon usage.
This is mine.
The little girl's talking too much. The Mariner just likes to be alone. You know how it goes in these things.
I told Helen you wouldn't be so ugly if you cut your hair.
They send the seaplane out to search, and they find the Mariner's boat.
They fight the plane and they drive it off.
And now the bad guys are on their trail.
And the girls get haircuts. They come across another drifter. It's custom for drifters to trade with each other.
What you want for the women?
We're not for sale.
What does he have to trade?
Paper.
Even in Waterworld, it's still about making that paper.
That's right.
Mariner says, all right, you can have a half hour with the older one, but that's it. Drifter's like, wee-hoo, ha, wee-hoo. He's crazy.
He gets 30 minutes in paradise with Helen, but before the paradise gets to happen,
Mariner comes down and says, I changed my mind. He gets in a scuffle with the other drifter.
come on, he pulls a knife, you pull a gun, that's the Chicago way!
And I think you know the result. Literally overnight, Mariner and Enola become great friends. They go swimming, they smile at each other. They come upon an island where they think they can get some supplies, but it turns out that island is a trap. Deacon is there, he's laying in wait. He's taking his weekend at Bernie's fandom a little too far. They escape from there. Helen questions Mariner about Dryland. You want to see Dryland? I'll show you Dryland. He puts her in a little submarine that he has.
Get in the bubble, and he takes the bubble down. I hope you like the bends. And he goes to an Atlantis underneath the ocean.
This is your Dryland.
I'm really happy that Costner finally found the project that he could use his gills on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Totally going to waste on Untouchables and Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
Somehow, Helen survives this entire thing.
Oh no, she's home alone. His boat has been captured by Deacon. He shouldn't have gone down and taught Helen that lesson. Deacon captures the girl. He says, kill these two, burn the boat. Why would I want a cool boat? Why are you burning the boat? It doesn't make sense. What should we do with all these gallons of water? Dump them. Mariner and Helen dive under the water and they avoid the bullets and the fire.
Hey, you know, I'm going to give you a kiss.
And keeps her alive under the water with his breathing powers. Seeing as how I was not interested in your naked body, this is really gross to me right now. They go back up, the boat's all burned up, and the girl is gone. So what else is there to do but make love?
They make love.
Listen, I got a lot of work to do, so I'm gonna get going. Meanwhile, on Deacon's big boat, he's got the girl and he's questioning her.
Get those chains off her. What are we, barbarians here?
We're not barbarians, we're marauders, and I'm a warlord.
I really see myself as more of a Visigoth.
But Enola, she's tough, and she holds her own. What do you know? Gregor finds them.
Hey, it's old Gregor. Hey, I got my flying boat. Gregor takes him to the boat where other survivors are.
Mariner decides, I'm gonna go rescue Enola.
So he goes to the Deacon's stronghold.
Back at Deacon's boat, he's having a big meeting with his people, trying to inspire them.
Hey, everything's cool because we're going to Dryland. I have a map on this little girl's back. They have oars and like a big old galley, like a rowboat. They all row away into the distance.
Well, Mariner shows up. He's unstoppable.
Just goes chop, chop, chop all the way through the entire thing.
Finally, there's a showdown between Deacon and Mariner.
You know, he's like a turd that won't flush.
What does flushing mean?
Mariner says, ah ha ha, see this? It's a flare. See this? It's the pipe that leads down to all your oil. If I drop this down there, your whole boat's gonna blow up. Deacon's like, you wouldn't do that. And he does it.
He blows up the boat.
Ooh, Deacon is hopping mad. Dennis Hopper. He's hopping mad. See what I did there? Yeah, it was pretty good. He's angry. He grabs Enola, puts her in a plane. He's going to take off. Plane crashes. He goes and rescues Enola. Deacon must be dead. Gregor comes down with his balloon. He lets down a rope. They climb up it. But, oh, Deacon, he's going to climb up there and get him. Oh, we got to go rescue her again. And through the use of bungee jumping, she is saved. And these three pull a roadrunner. Gregor figures out where Dryland is, somehow.
They've been reading it upside down this whole time. They should have been going south.
They sail for days and days through the air. Finally, they come upon an island
that's just been sitting there that very few people have noticed.
It's fresh! I love this!
Let's start polluting it! This is Dryland. It exists.
It looks like that was Enola's parents. Yeah.
Unfortunately, what they don't know is that Dryland is entirely populated by werewolves.
Oh, no.
So they're in trouble. Everyone's so happy, except for one person, and that's Mariner.
If there's one person who can't stand the land, it's a man with gills on his face.
Because in the end, he is always a man alone in Waterworld. Nothing's free in Waterworld.
The water?
My first impressions of this movie, which I think might be your first impressions too, is it's not that bad.
Particularly the first half of the movie. Starts out as like the Road Warrior with Errol Flynn in it.
Errol Finn.
Yes. Kevin Costner.
Knock it off.
Ernesto. Kevin Costner seemed to be doing a lot of his own stunts. It moved along quickly. The pacing was good. You could follow the action sequences. But around halfway through, just everything just kind of unraveled and it didn't seem to know exactly where it was going.
How did this movie flop so badly? I think it rests on Kevin Costner's shoulders.
There's all these stories about Costner's controlling and how he like CGI'd in new hair for him because when he got his hair wet, you could see bald spots and stuff like that.
Oh, interesting.
How much money are you putting in on digital hair transplants.
And when people see something like that, and when there's that much money riding on it, they want him to fail.
A few years later, James Cameron was driving for the same brick wall, with Titanic, and I was like, all right, this is going to happen with James Cameron now. And then I was like, oh, no, that doesn't suck. So Titanic lives, Waterworld fails.
I think the other way that Costner is responsible is that he's really not right for the part. He's Kevin Costner. He's real friendly, and he doesn't have that edge that the character needed.
He doesn't seem dangerous.
Like, when he says he's going to kill the girl and throw her overboard, you don't believe him at all.
No.
And then, when he becomes best friends with the girl, you don't believe that either. He hits these various emotional notes, and they ring false. And he's not a bad actor.
He was really good in the action sequences. When he's swinging around that boat, jumping in nets and everything, it's like, oh, this guy has spent a lot of time practicing for this movie.
He's very physically capable of the role.
Yeah.
How did this movie reflect the culture of the mid-90s?
Jet skis.
Okay. A squadron of jet skis. It's frat boys! Run! There was the Joseph Hazelwood, Exxon Valdez reference.
Oh, this is a joke that people will get and will just make everything all that much funnier for the movie. But I think that might be a very serious point about the movie. Why are the polar ice caps melting? Because of our use of fossil fuels. Exxon Valdez was an oil ship.
Noted ecological disaster.
Yes. The bad men would want to exonerate that moment because it's kind of what made them possible.
The thing that I really don't like about that is when the ship is sinking and you can see the words, everyone is staring at it like it's a meaningful thing. We're future people. That reference is lost on us.
Yep.
They were the audience surrogate at that point. It's like, this is how you should be reacting to this audience. You should be looking in awe and be like, oh, I had no idea that was going to happen. It's just kind of silly. You know what else was really 90s about this movie? Bungee jumping. Probably the most ridiculous moment of the film.
At the end, they just seemed to decide, let's just make a cartoon.
I think there were a lot of aspects of this movie that were very cartoonish. It wasn't as gritty or hard as it should have been. When Deacon captures the girl and takes her back, suddenly it's like this goofy back and forth, ooh, you precocious girl, oh, I'm gonna get you.
Susan Sontag said about science fiction that, yeah, that's right, science fiction movies aren't about science. They are about disaster. And this movie, I think, is about as big of a disaster as you can come by.
A disaster in the story and a disaster surrounding the story. Jack Black was in this movie. We didn't realize that until the credits.
Because he was always in like, Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo.
Endorsement or not, we just watched Waterworld, and if you haven't seen it, you should check it out.
It's not nearly as bad as you think it's going to be.
You should go right now and dive right into the depths of our website, welcometothebasementshow.com. You can see every episode we've ever made, for God's sake.
That's a lot of episodes.
And there's a PayPal donation button where you can donate a few dollars to support our show. This is not something you have to do. We're perfectly happy to present this show to you free, but if you like the show, think of it as a little tip jar.
Or a big tip jar, if that's what you'd prefer.
Recent donors include Jonathan, Robert, William, Stephen, and Rachel. And of course, I can't forget our monthly donors. They do the rolling donation thing every month. Patricia, Edward, Corey, Jason, Kyle, Stephanie, Sierra, George, Tammy, Danielle, Joe, Michael, Brian, Steve, Lee, Michael, Jacqueline, David, Daniel, Joshua, Jonathan, Merlin, Tristan, and Kevin. Yeah!
That's catching on.
In our mailbag this week, we've got a postcard from Graham on his vacation to Door County.
Hey, it's Sturgeon Bay.
Chris, Jacob, Nora, and their cat Bootsy are taking a cross-country trip, and they stopped off in Casey, Illinois to see the world's largest wind chime.
Really? Oh.
That trip would be hell for me because I don't like wind chimes. And we got another one from Michael U.S. Bonds.
Hey, our old pal.
That's right.
There we go.
We got a couple of gifts. A very nice letter from Colby, who also included some of his film projects that he wants us to take a look at. He also included a few postcards. One of them, a Kevin Costner postcard.
What? It's like he knew.
And Grant sent us a little gift from Amazon, a couple of Bob Hope movies.
Hey.
And now, it's time for Seen It. Today on the show we visited Waterworld, so our theme for Seen It is Other Worlds.
Aaron Link asks, Total Recall?
Get your ass to Mars.
Seen it.
Get your ass to Mars.
Seen it.
Get your ass to Mars.
Seen it? It's one of those movies that I'm not certain if I've ever seen the beginning of it. Like the first 10 or 15 minutes of the movie, I've seen bits of that, but like maybe never from opening credits to end credits.
That's got some really bad models in it. When he's out on the Martian landscape, he's going, ah, and his eyes are bulging out.
Have you ever seen someone asphyxiate on a Martian landscape?
Never.
I think they got it pretty close. I figured out what's reality and what's not. Is Quaid the name that he has at the beginning of the movie, or the name of the guy he's...
That's what name he has at the beginning.
At the
Because
beginning.
he says, my name is not Quaid.
Why isn't his name Quaid? It's an Irish name. Schwarzenegger never acknowledges his own Germanness in movies. No one ever says, oh, you're not from around here, are you? You know, as one does when you meet a foreign person eventually.
Right.
His name is not Quaid, so he is the spy who has taken on this other identity.
Right. The Joe Dean writes, you should watch Tron during Sci-Fi July. Can't do it because I've already seen it. Didn't see Tron until just a couple of years ago. I watched it right before we started doing this show. It would have been a perfect movie to watch on this show. But, you know, what are you going to do?
Also, it is still, after all these decades, one of my favorite video games.
And the special effects in Tron still hold up. I watched them not too long ago and I was like, this is really neat.
John Unroe asks, I am curious if you had any interest on reviewing Dune. Not only for the movie, but the crazy backstory that went into making it.
I will kill him! Seen it!
This is kind of a loophole seen it because I saw it in a bar called Thekla in Olympia, Washington. And
that sounds like a planet of the world of Dune.
Pretty cool bar. I was like just sitting at the bar and just entranced by this oddity that was going. And it's such a beautiful movie, but I hear that it is just inane to listen to. But watching it, it's all Lynch.
The story makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
My brother went and saw that movie in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
They had little pamphlets that had like a glossary of Dune words and terms. They were handing these out at the theater.
People there with like their lighters is like, what the hell? What's a muad'Dib?
I wish I still had that.
Oh, that would be awesome to have.
Matt Howell, seen it. 1986 Transformers the movie. If not, love for you to watch it. Seen it.
I haven't seen that movie.
When this movie came out, I was a Transformers nut. Mm-hmm. I loved the cartoon. I heard there was a movie. I waited for my parents to come home, and I made them take me to the movie theater to see it. Got there just in time, and I saw this movie, and it's not great. See, the problem with it is that they take all of the Autobots and the Decepticons that you love from the TV show, and they kill them all off in the first 10 minutes. And then they replace them with Autobots and Decepticons that you don't care about. So, that's probably the fatal flaw of the movie.
That sounds pretty fatal.
Yeah, but it does have Orson Welles as a planet-eating planet. You want to know something really weird?
Yes.
Do you remember in Boogie Nights, when they're in the studio and they're singing those terrible songs?
Yeah, Michael Penn is a producer, yes.
And they sing that one song.
You got the touch. You got the power.
That song is in Transformers the movie.
You got the touch. You got the power.
When I saw Boogie Nights in 1997 or whenever it was, they started singing that song. I was like, Transformers song? That's seen it.
And that's our show.
We took a big splash into Waterworld and we swam around in it, and now we're all dried off.
Yep.
That's the end of Sci-Fi July. What does August have in store for us?
I've been wondering about that.
I call it a look back in August. What we're going to do is we're going to re-examine some of our past themes from the show.
Ooh.
We've got some directors in here, we got some Hall of Famers in here, and some other surprises. Ooh. I'm going to draw these out of my custom-made Marvel Comics dice bag, which I got from Ralph Hodge. Oh, Craig, the genre cards. Do you remember those?
I do remember the genre cards.
I said I was going to burn them, but I never did. They've been right here on my desk this whole time.
Here we go, and I'll take this one. The genre is Kung Fu.
Hey, finally!
I've been wondering when a Kung Fu movie was going to show up, too.
That's going to be our first movie in August. We hope you'll join us then. See you later.
Chop. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. This could have air in it from the 70s.
Wow, if you breathe that, you'll get typhoid.
It's a horrible epidemic back in the 70s. Typhoid, herpes,
Quaaludes,
Nixon.